Hey everybody, it's Joseph again for Zenny62. So earlier today, I reported on the opening day game at Dodger Stadium between the Dodgers and the San Francisco Giants. Now, there was another game that caught my interest, and that was a game up in Washington, D.C., where you had the Nationals playing the New York Yankees. Now, what's interesting for me is to note that Donald Trump is a current resident of Washington, D.C., and is a former resident of, obviously, New York. And so, in this very historic season of Major League Baseball, they decide to have Dr. Fauci throughout the first pitch against the New York Yankees. And the reason why I think that's important to note is that traditionally, throwing out the ceremonial first pitch is one of honor. It's where you honor political figures, you honor people of esteem, people who've done things for the nation, for their city, for the state. It's usually people who they want to honor. And so what's interesting to me is that you have these two teams, you could say, that should be defined by Donald Trump, Washington, D.C., and the New York Yankees, and they decide to give that honor of throwing out the first pitch to Dr. Fauci. Now, this is after the Trump administration tried to discredit him earlier this month and has kind of been feuding with him. And they don't like that Dr. Fauci has stressed the importance of certain protocols and certain procedures. And so, because it's not something that Donald Trump wants to deal with, he still wants it to insinuate that this virus is not as bad as it is. They don't honor Donald Trump with throwing out the first pitch, but they give that honor to Dr. Fauci. So what you may seem is just a subtle, maybe, decision to send out Dr. Fauci out there, that's saying a lot. That picture of Dr. Fauci throwing out the first pitch in opening day is one of those pictures where a picture speaks more than 1,000 words, right? So there's a lot that you can take from that one picture of him throwing out the first pitch. It's a very symbolic picture, if you think about it, is that honor is going to the one person the president is trying to discredit. Now, I think as a nation, we know better. I think as a nation, that says where we stand today in our thoughts about the current administration. And the fact that you had a Black Lives Movement throughout this whole opening day as part of the opening day ceremony, the last person they probably were going to invite is Donald Trump, who essentially calls the Black Lives Movement a bunch of terrorists, but doesn't say anything about the white supremacists who hang people, who torture people, and to spew their hatred. He says they're a bunch of good guys, because that's what he likes to say about people that support him. They're a bunch of good guys. So I think our nation believes that Dr. Fauci is the ultimate good guy. He's surviving in that toxic environment called the Trump administration. So I just wanted to point that out to you, and don't forget to keep it here on Zenny62.